Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, we are going to be doing something pretty fun. I'm going to go through the entire roster's moveset and redesign moves for every single character in Smash Ultimate. But before I explain how this is going to work, did you know that around 88% of you guys are not subscribed? Since a lot of you keep on coming back, why not hit that sub button anyways? It supports the channel and helps me grow and push for better content. Anyways, thanks guys. Well, with that out of the way, let me explain how this is going to work. When I showcase a character redesign, at maximum it will be 5 moves changed, but most characters will receive at least 1 to 3 changes. It will be more focused on special moves, and if I want their playstyle to change with the normal attacks, aerials, tilts, and etc., I'll just count that as 1 change to make things more simple and easier. One other thing to mention is there may or may not be a handful of characters where significant or any changes can really be made. But we'll see. So let's get started with our first half of the characters, starting with the one and only Mario. Mario being around obviously for every single Smash game, it's quite interesting to not see his moveset change really all that much. Almost all of the original cast does not have that much of an updated moveset. But for Mario's moves, I would change some of his specials. First thing being his side B. I'd make Mario's side B Cappy, where he can use it as a projectile and somewhat of a recovery option, to where if you throw Cappy, he stays out for a couple seconds and then Mario can jump off of it like a spring. The other thing I would change is Mario's down B, replacing the Flood. I would give Mario his Galaxy Spin, which is similar to what he had back in Melee with the spin, except giving him a slight boost in the air with his new Galaxy Spin. But other than that, I would not change that much about Mario. A character like Donkey Kong is an example of Smash showing its age with its early character designs. A lot of Donkey Kong's moves are just kind of basic punches and swings. Though I would keep his moveset mostly the same, I want to sprinkle a tiny bit of creativity in his moveset though. I would change his side special where he swings his head forward and puts his opponents in the ground to something that is more signature of Donkey Kong. Make him throw a barrel. Barrels are a big part of DK's history, and seeing it in his moveset would be really cool. The other thing I would change is DK's down B. I wouldn't make it all that different, but give it more of an impact, or he slams on his Congo barrels that creates a small sound shockwave hitbox around him that he can combo off of. I think it's a good trade-off because usually people only use DK's down B to get that stylish spike on someone. For Link, I think his moveset is actually pretty perfect for the character, matching the Breath of the Wild version with him at least. I think to change things up, I'd get rid of his boomerang side B and replace it. The reason for this is I feel like Link's bow doesn't get enough usage. But what I would make his new side B is the ability to change his arrows. And Breath of the Wild Link uses fire arrows, bomb arrows, and electric arrows. I think his ability to change these out would make the bow more unique and a more unique thing compared to the other Links. The other thing I would change is make him have his square bomb as well, which makes it not roll off the stage if it's thrown. This would work by alternating when you summon the bomb. In Smash, I'm not the biggest fan of how Samus is done. She's super floaty, which does match the older version of the Metroid games, but newer games like Zero Mission and Fusion, Samus falls very fast and her controls are super tight, and that's the type of Samus I like. I would make her a fast faller as well, give her the ability to switch between fire and ice, kinda like Project M. You would switch modes by holding shield and pressing the B button, similar to how Inkling charges their ink. It's also good to mention almost all changes apply to Echo Fighters, except a select few. In Yoshi's case, for his side B where he does his egg roll, I would actually replace that with his up special where he tosses the egg. And now his new recovery would be his winged recovery, similar to Pit, but to do this, his jump height would have to be reduced and his super armor would have to be removed to keep a good balance for the character. For Kirby, I would change his up special to work in a way where he can change the direction of it to be horizontal or vertical. I would also change Kirby's side special from the hammer to be Beam Whip, which would be a similar move to Zero Suit Samus' side special. I would also change his down special, the Stone move, into the Flaming Hammer, and it does have a considerable amount of knockback and does not require charging. People are probably going to be upset for me for Fox, but for Fox I wouldn't change his moveset all that much and just make his Reflect work like Melee and be frame 1. I would also give him his Melee back air, which can hit from kind of in the middle and it's almost like a Nair. For Pikachu, I would change his side B to a move from Pokemon called Rage, which would act similar to a counter, which is like Lucario's counter actually. Main reason is Pikachu's off-stage game is insane, and giving him a different type of tool used for making reads and neutral on stage to me is way more hype than just him having these insane recovery options. For Luigi, I would change his Fireball neutral special to a ball of electricity from the Mario & Luigi RPG series. It would move slower but have more of an impact and still go in a straight line without having gravity physics like before. I would also change his down special to be a hammer where he would spin around, which is also a big part of the Mario & Luigi series. I think Ness's moves are already pretty perfect, but I would change his down smash from the yo-yo to him blasting PSI energy on both sides of him to make it a more unique smash attack that doesn't use another yo-yo. And yes, I know, most of Ness' moves are not even his own moves, but yeah. Did you know that Captain Falcon actually has a weapon? He carries it in his holster and we've never seen it be used. So I want to make his neutral special a laser similar to Falco's laser and replace Falcon Kick with his Falcon Punch, but make it way faster and do less knockback. For Jigglypuff, I change her neutral special from Rollout to Wish. Wish can heal her percent slightly when fully charged. I feel like Jigglypuff is a hard character to come up with new moves for that really fit her moveset and the way she works in Smash, but I think healing herself is pretty cool because she takes so much knockback because of how late she is. For Peach and Daisy, I would change out their neutral special, which is the Toad counter, with a move where she twirls around and hits her opponents. It'd be similar to Incineroar's Lariat, and I think it would kind of fit the character well. Bowser's moveset has been the same for the most part for all the time he's been in Smash. To change things up, I think changing Bowser's Fire Breath to shoot out large fireballs instead would be way better. The only thing is they are slower but do have a lot more impact. I'd also remove his Tough Guy armor everywhere except for his shell. The down special, I'd also change it to a move where he throws out his minions similar to King Diddy from Brawl. This would represent what you see him do in his games more often. I think it's really hard to come up with a new moveset for Ice Climbers because there's almost no material to go off of. But I changed their down special from the Ice Wind to a charge up Ice Hammer that can turn the opponent into ice when charged on impact. I think it'd be pretty cool to see that in combos because I think the Ice Climbers kind of need more hard hitting moves. And Ultimate Sheik uses her sword in her final smash. It'd be cool to give her a sword slash side special similar to Fox and Falco's side B. I think that would make her even more high octane and give her even more recovery option. It would also be a chargeable, so it would have a crumple effect similar to Ryu and Ken's focus attack. Boy oh boy, Zelda. But now for Zelda, I think her moveset now is too focused on range and camping. I changed Din's Fire, which is Zelda's side special, to act how it does in Project M. For the longer you hold it, the bigger it gets, and it also doesn't explode, and it just stays where it is until you call it back or till it auto comes back. I think this would give her more combo potential. I would also change Zelda's down special, which is the Phantom. Mostly I would change what each stage of the Phantom does. The weaker Phantoms reflect projectiles only and serve as a body block. The stronger versions are just the normal slashes but do less knockback and set up for combo links instead. I would straight up just make Dr. Mario match normal Mario stats, making him an Echo. I think that would make Dr. Mario more viable while also having his move differences such as Dare and Down special. Dr. Mario having those stat changes to match Mario makes him a much better character. Now for Pichu, Nintendo, reverse the nerfs. Falco over the years has changed a decent bit from Fox, but I feel like it would be even cooler to give him a completely different special. I'd replace Falco's down special, which is the Reflect Kick, with a grenade from Star Fox Assault. It would be similar to Snake's grenade. For Marth, I would give him his Lie counter move from Smash 4, which was a custom move in that game. It's a counter that sends his opponents behind him. As for Lucina, I give her Dolphin Jump, which is an up special that just sends her upwards but doesn't do any damage. I'd do this to differentiate the two while keeping Lucina as an Echo. For Young Link, I would give him a Slingshot to replace the bow and arrow as his neutral B. The slingshot pellets would be able to bounce off the ground and act similar to Villager and Isabelle's forward air. For his down B, I would replace the bomb with a bomb chew that moves across the ground and blows up on its own if it doesn't hit anyone within 5 seconds. I think Ganondorf getting his sword smash attacks is great, but his specials are still very Captain Falcon-like and don't represent him that well. The first change is up special being replaced by a floating recovery, which he has his arms crossed while he floats up into the air, and it has purple energy around him. I would also change Warlock Punch, and instead change the animation to him igniting his sword in purple energy then slashing. thus making it Warlock Slash. Warlock Slash would be a disjoint, so it would be similar to Byleth's down special. I think Flame Choke is an appropriate Ganon move, but I'd shift the animation to where he holds you up into the air without actually gripping the opponent. And finally, the down special. I would change this to be a move where Phantom Ganon gets sent out and throws a punch similar to Zelda's Phantom. Mewtwo's moveset in Smash is great, except Mewtwo's attributes. First, I'd make Mewtwo a little heavier because it makes zero sense to me why he's so late in the game. He's even lighter than Sheik. The main thing I changed for Mewtwo is his down B. I'd make it reflect from Pokemon, which reflects projectiles. And for his side B, Confusion would no longer reflect projectiles. It would instead just turn around opponents instantly like Mario's cape, and also include a win box on it to push opponents away if it doesn't exactly hit. For Roy's moveset, I wouldn't change too much about it, but what I would change is his blade dance. I would change Roy's side special to Marth's custom move from Smash 4, Heavy Blade. Heavy Blade doesn't combo, but it does a ton of knockback, and I think it's more fitting for Roy. This will also carry over to Chrom. When it comes down to Mr. Game & Watch's case, it's pretty hard to give him new stuff because, you know, it's Game & Watch. But I would replace his forward air with the OG box forward air. For his up air, I would make it the key but swung upwards, kinda matching the down air. I'd also change his up special to not include the parachute, it would just have to be the trampoline, so that way it won't be super spammable anymore. And to also prevent it from being super spammable, it wouldn't come out as fast as it normally does. For Meta Knight, I would change his tornado neutral special to Night Beam, where he fires a blade of energy while doing an overhead slash, as I think he would benefit from having a projectile. For his side special, I've replaced the drill with Dark Multi-Thrust, where he swings his sword multiple times and ends up with a giant sword dunking his opponent. It's kinda similar to Mii Brawler's Onslaught. For Pit, I would give him Dark Pit's arrow and give Dark Pit his staff that shoots a fast projectile with hit stun. It can also be shot vertical and horizontal. It'd be most similar to Falco's laser. Zero Suit Samus doesn't have a lot at her disposal in her games, but to make her more like her counterpart, in Metroid Zero Mission, where her laser charge will charge all on its own. The only catch is you have to wait for the charge over time in order for it to be at full stun. I would also change her forward smash to be her grapple swing attack. Wario's moveset to me is pretty much perfect. I'd only change one thing, being his neutral B. I'd make his neutral B him pulling out a bag of money as an item that he can throw at people, because Wario in the games is obsessed with money, and I think it matches his character a little bit better rather than just having a giant bite. Snake is missing one big thing, and it's his sleep dart gun. I would replace the Nikita missile for Snake's sleep dart. It has 3 shots and has to reload. And while he reloads, he can't do anything and has to wait for it to finish. The sleep effect will be heavier at higher percents. For Ike, I would change his neutral special to Ragnell's Aura, which makes him slam his sword on the ground and creates a blue aura shockwave, similar to Terry's power wave but bigger and more knockback. I think giving Ike a projectile, although a slower one, will make him a better character neutral rather than just hitting Nair, especially after he just got his Nair nerfed. For Pokemon Trainer, Ivysaur specifically, I'd only change neutral special, Bullet Seed. I'd make it a charge up move similar to Project M, except in Project M, Ivysaur is able to heal himself while holding the B button, but he can also use Solar Beam if it charges all the way, except in Ultimate, I'd make the B button do nothing until it charges. Similar to how Wario's neutral B works with his waft, except he can waft early but it doesn't have enough knockback. Instead, Ivysaur's neutral B won't do anything until it's charged up, and when it's charged up, he shoots a giant solar beam, which can kill pretty early. And for Charizard and Squirtle, I actually just don't know what to do because I feel like a lot of their moves are pretty much perfect. If you guys have some ideas, let me know in the comments below so I can get you guys involved in this one. And whoever in the comments has the best moveset for Squirtle and Charizard, I'll feature it in part 2 of this video. For Diddy Kong, I would change his Peanut Pop Gun neutral special to give him 2 Peanut Pop Guns to make the move more usable, but also give him more of a reason to be used. I'd also change his up special to be similar to a Fox up special where he can go in 8 directions and has no charge time. Lucas is really cool because of how he is similar to Ness but isn't really like him, unlike Dr. Mario who's almost all the way like Mario except a few moves and attributes. But Lucas would be cool if he threw out PK Ice instead of PK Freeze and have it freeze at higher percents. PK Fire being the neutral B that explodes, similar to how PK Freeze used to work. Sonic is a character that is pretty bland in his moveset design. So first thing I'm changing is his forward air to match his forward kick from Sonic Battle and giving it spike capabilities. I'd also change his down special, which is the spin dash charge, to something called Sonic Wind, where he creates a little tornado, which is similar to Mii Sword Fighter's tornado. This would allow him to combo out of it. Sonic will no longer have 2 spin dashes. For King Diddy, I changed his side special to not only throw Gordos, but Waddle Dees and Waddle Doos. Waddle Dees do less damage and knockback than a Gordo, but the Waddle Doo does electric damage and stuns the opponent if they get hit by it. Finally, we have Olimar being the last character in part 1 of this video series. For Olimar, I would change up his recovery to give him a little jetpack that is quick and instant. I'd also change Olimar's Pikmin pool to have the Pikmin pooled based on percent. Lower percent will be red, yellow, and blue Pikmin. Mid percents will be purple and white Pikmin that can now be pulled. I think it'd be interesting and change up how he uses his Pikmin during his percentage, because the white and purple Pikmin would do a lot more damage and knockback, allowing him to basically have a comeback mechanic. But at really high percents, he can get rock Pikmin, which do both lots of damage and knockback, essentially being the white and purple Pikmin combined. And this concludes part 1 of redesigning the entire Movesets roster. Let me know if you would add any more changes to the characters I've talked about today. It's pretty tough to think about this for the entire cast, so my aim was to keep this simple and quick as possible and not having too many changes. But anyways, I put a ton of work into this, so hit the sub button if you enjoyed, as well as the like button, and let's try to get the 10K as soon as possible. But anyway, see you guys in the next part.